Hello all. Right, regular viewers to the channel will know that recently, I get behind with my videos because there's only so many you want to stick out on a weekly basis, and it just takes time to do this stuff. A few people asked me some questions regarding trucks, so I thought I'd do one. What is the best truck to have if you want to run on the, well, it's to be the Haulage Exchange, because the Courier Exchange only really deals with trucks. I think it deals up to and including 7.5 tonnes. So you can run on the Courier Exchange 7.5 tonne, but for the extra money you wouldn't. So I've got these questions written down, as I normally do my Sunday Q&A. For this I need my bins. I'm not used to having my bins on during the week. David Park says, I'm going to do this, and if I haven't covered anything, we'll discuss it again on the Sunday Q&A. He says, hey Pete, hello guys who watch, please could you please comment on the perfect truck weight for the CX? Which would be the most demand? 3.5 tonne, 7.5 tonne, 18 tonne, 12 tonne, 18 tonne. Thanks, take care, take money. And also, Van on the Run says, Pete, I wonder if you can help me. General question about rigid trucks. Is there much work on the CX for 28 tonne rigids? I assume, 26 tonne, sorry. I assume in a 26 tonne you could do 18 tonne jobs, but also 26 tonne jobs. So first of all, we're going to deal with the weight. The best truck you want to be, the vehicle that I keep saying is that everybody should be driving is an 18 tonne with a double curtain side and a tuck under tail lift. We like DAFs. I like DAFs because they are the transit of the truck world. I like Mercedes. I can't afford a Mercedes, and the repair bills are more expensive. And the thing about DAFs is, although they're the transit of the truck world, it's much more comfortable driving a DAF than it is driving a transit. Gorgeous room, big steering wheel, bed that goes down when you need it. Lovely, fantastic. And they drive nicely. They're a nice, reliable, good, lovely truck. You know, some parts are readily available from everywhere. Big fan of DAFs. And the weight you want is an 18 tonne. The reason for this is in an 18 tonne, you can also do 12 tonne jobs and you can do 7.5 tonne jobs. Not always. Sometimes you need the extra clearance through the side. Mine's got 250, the others have got 240. So certain jobs I can do that they can't do, as I once found out to my chagrin. Once I sent one of my trucks to cover a job and realised he couldn't load it and had to go and make a bit of a boo-boo there. So you can get a 26 tonne, but there are very few 26 tonne jobs. The only real advantage with a 26 tonne is, whereas I've got a 6 metre bed, most 18 tonnes tend to have a 7 metre bed, and with a 26 tonne you get an 8 metre bed, which means you can then get on. I mean, I can carry 10 pallets. The 18 tonnes carry like 14 pallets. I assume with a 16 tonne, 16 pallets. So if you want to move 16 pallets, you book an Arctic. That's the problem, you see. If you've actually got more than about 400 pallets to move, you just get a 6-axle. So there is, and you've got to bear in mind there's extra wear and tear, extra weight, extra fuel, all that kind of stuff. Don't get me wrong. If they're selling for about the same money, there's probably not a lot of difference in insurance, probably not a difference in repair bills, probably not a lot of difference in fuel. And if the right truck is there for the right money in front of you, 26 tonne, you won't come unstuck. But the best one, in my opinion, 18 tonne, tuck under tail lift, because that way, like I am now, I'm reversed on a bay. If it's a tuck under tail lift, you can get loaded through the side with a fork truck and then drop it off at the customer's house with a tail lift, or you can get loaded on the side with a fork truck and then tuck your curtains up and you come back here, back it onto a bay, and the ramp comes down and they unload it for you there. So that's your best one there. That's the best one, in my opinion. That's the best one to go for. And also, right, how much money should you spend on a truck? Here's another one. Longfinger says, Lutons have gone up in price so much, doubled, I'd say. Loads of bargains for 7.5 tonne trucks for sale cheap. He's a bit skewed on this one. And you've got to bear in mind, as I say, all the way along, we all should be driving trucks, but trucks is involved. You've got to have transport managers, you've got to have someone to park it, you've got to have a mechanic. It's not easy. You can't just go and buy a truck and drive it. You need operators, you need CPCs. There's plenty of videos on the channel to tell you about that. Still worth doing, I think, particularly if you've got ambition and you want to go for more than one. Can be a lot of grief for more than one, but still worth doing. How much money? And a geezer rang me up recently, asked me this, and he was going to do 20, 30k. I personally don't think you need to spend this kind of money. I know superhero Daniel, Garumba Transport Manager, has just spent over 20, put them on. I was getting tired. I started very early this morning. He spent good money and got like, it was a lovely truck, don't get me wrong. That was a Merc, and it was Euro 6 and the miles were low and it had DVS all the way around it and all that kind of stuff. which means you can go into the zone, you can go into London, all that kind of stuff. But the difference between the two, it's like the difference between a Euro 5 and a Euro 6. For the same kind of miles, it's like 5 grand. You could pick up a Euro 5 with about 300,000 miles on it for about 8 grand. Pick up the same in a Euro 6, it's suddenly 12. So it suddenly costs you an extra 5k for a slightly newer engine, which means that, and you get DVS, you can go into London in it. Do you really want to go into London in a lorry? Spend forever just sort of, let me just check this on. I just said that, but hang on a second. That's good. My lights turned red. I didn't know what time to start tipping me. Lovely. You can go into London in a lorry, but do you really need to? And also, I mean, we're getting zone now. We've got zone in Bath. We've got zone in Birmingham. We're going to get a zone in Oxford for next year. But other than London, other than the CAS, other than the LEZ, which is 100 quid, a lot of them are like 50, 60 quid. So it's the same as running in the van on the exchange, whereas if you've got to go into the CAS, you just put extra money on the job. I have recently done, it reminds me, what for Thursday? Oh, I nearly forgot that. I've recently done a few jobs where I've had to go into the LEZ. You just charge, you put sometimes they'll pay it. So yeah, we'll pay it. Okay, no problem. So I wouldn't go mad on the money. And also, lorries are built, if you can get one that's got a good service history, in a Luton van, you're going to expect problems around about 300,000 miles. Injectors go around about 300,000 miles. In a truck, get a good, well-maintained truck, 500,000, get a million miles out. An 18-ton or a 26 or big uns, you'll get a million miles out of it. If you're looking after it properly, make sure it's regular service, change the filters, change the oil, everything that goes wrong, you change. Get some decent dough. So you don't need to go mad on the price for them. And finally, domain name guy says, the most practical 7.5 ton without tail lifts are the ones with the sliding sides and the slam lock rear shutter. That way you can still get an oblong pallet into them. Yeah, I'm not quite sure who's going with that one, to be honest with you. Something ideal for supermarket cages and all that. Sorry, so there was some comments on the truck, but like I say, 18 ton seems to be the sweet point. After you get past 18 ton, then you're into like 26s, 6 axles. You can run Arctics on the exchange. There is jobs for them. The problem is you only get the same kind of money per mile in an Arctic as you're going to get in an 18 ton. But in an Arctic, you can carry 2 jobs, which is fine, as long as you can marry them 2 jobs up. As long as you can go, right, I'm picking up one in Milton Keynes and one in Northampton, then I'm going up to drop in one in Kettering and one in Derby, and then I'm coming home. Doesn't always happen. If you've got your own customers, maybe think about a 6-axle, using the exchange for them odd days you can't get a job, or the right job comes out, you think I can cover that, I'm going to quote with silly money because they're desperate. I know they're desperate. But so the bottom line is, I'm getting thunder, brilliant. The bottom line is, in my opinion, the best lorry to run on the exchange is a DAF, second-hand DAF, at round about the 300,000 mile mark, which you want to give about 8 grand for, double curtain side, tuck under tail lift. And that's what we will be looking for when we try to expand into Coventry, which hopefully we'll do soon, if and when I get my OAT licence. So, hope that clears things up. And also bear in mind, trucks are involved. But there's plenty of videos on that, and if there's any questions, kick them on the Sunday Q&A, and we'll have a little discussion about it. In the meantime, I might even get home at a reasonable time. So you guys, take care, take money.